Sir Gerry Robinson has run some of the biggest companies in Britain. He's rich, he's ruthless, and he's ready to use all his experience on small family businesses. Robin Harries and his two daughters own and run one of the oldest Ford dealerships in South Wales. For the last 3 years, they've been losing money. Robin has lost interest, and his daughters just want to know where they stand.
I wish you as my father, but as my boss, I just need somebody to be in control.
Right, okay.
And his number 2 is disillusioned.
I've always had to give in. Doesn't matter, we get to that point, I just know I can't win it, so I give up and let him have his way.
Can Gerry save the business for the family?
If that's done in the new company, and the new company borrows the money to do that, you have to give half back.
Correct.
Well, that's what we're saying, for Christ's sake.
Gerry Robinson has made a fortune from turning round huge companies, but this time his advice is free. Before meeting the family, he receives his brief on who is who. Arrow Ford is run by Robin Harries. He's a car salesman at heart.
And you didn't want it, you said because it didn't.
No side-loading door.
Exactly.
For those vans, you should rip my hand off.
It's a real bargain.
I don't know how you do it. You and Dick Turpin?
What?
Dick Turpin wore a mask.
Well, I could...
Robin took over the dealership in 1985. It's based in Pontland-Ffraeth, near Newport. 3 years ago, the company turned over £4 million, but it's been losing money ever since.
We all go through periods of our life when we're sick or ill and not performing to our best, and this company at the moment is not performing to its best.
I suspect that, like many motor trade companies, they've enjoyed a very easy run in the UK. Prices were very high. Over the last 2 or 3 years, they've come down to continental levels, which means that margins are much lower. They probably are very much on the brink here.
The demise of the business has affected everyone. Staff morale is low. Robin has not been feeling his best either.
Robin, from the English meaning bright and shining. His cheery disposition wins him many friends, even though he's often misunderstood. Very misunderstood. He's a bright guy. But that's where they're wrong, I'm not very bright. Right. This is the lounge, and it's immense.
2 divorces have taken their toll on his state of mind. He now lives on his own.
Oh, I hate being alone. I hate it. I like being with someone. There's a terrible tiredness about Robin. There's a sense of... there's a defeated man there.
Good afternoon, Arrow Ford.
Robin's 2 daughters, Sam and Jo, also work at Arrow Ford alongside a staff of 40. But they've never been given any responsibility by their father.
There's only one person running this, and that's my father. We help him. We've got more involvement than perhaps normal employees, but we don't run it. We just work here.
None of the family have any idea why they've been losing so much money.
I'm not sure. In my heart of hearts, if I told you the truth, I'm not really sure what exactly is the problem.
Business success is all about leadership. Totally about leadership. If you have a leader who is not on form, who isn't sparking himself or herself, you're in deep trouble, and it feels very much like that here.
But there is one area of the business that is doing well and in profit. For the past 15 years, Nigel Bond has been Robin's partner in the body shop, where the cars are repaired.
The back end of this got to be painted, bottom half.
Nigel runs it and owns 49% of it.
Probably that's where I've succeeded in what I've built at my side, is that if they come in, they ask for Nigel Bond sorts it out, and that's it.
The issues are within the business and within the group of people that are running it. They have the capacity to either do it well and succeed or fail. It will rest with this group of people.
Gerry decides it's time to head for Wales. He's asked to meet the management and has insisted that Robin's daughters are there too. It's the first time they've ever sat in on a management meeting.
What's fundamentally changed?
I'm not very happy with the company and with 3 years of losses, right? And it's affected my self-esteem. Now, I know I'm partly to blame. I'm not 100% to blame.
What's happened then? I mean, it's been a successful business in the past. What's the issue? Why is it difficult now?
So, because Dad used to be very hands-on, and he isn't so hands-on now.
And when did all that change?
Well, a little bit to do with my second divorce, I suppose. You think, what are you doing it all for? I mean, I know I've got my daughters as well. I'm not a male chauvinist, but I mean, this is a man's business more than a woman's business. There's very few women in the garage business. It's not a glamorous business, is it?
It's a kind of the equivalent of, I'm not a male chauvinist, but women are a pain in the arse, really, aren't they? What's your game then, Joe?
Well, I think the best...
No, I want Joe to tell me.
I worked in the garage for nearly 8 years now. I was doing sales administration for a few years. I've been back actually in service reception probably about a year and a half.
What about yourself?
Well, to be honest, I haven't got a defined role. I do I probably do jobs for every department that they haven't got time to do themselves.
Do you share the view that they are able?
Oh, definitely.
Have you ever told them?
Yes.
Not really, Dad.
Am I?
No.
Oh.
No.
There are some straightforward issues about, are you going to pass it on to somebody? Are you going to step out of it? Are you going to continue running it? Because if you're going to continue running it, that's one set of decisions. If you're not going to continue running it, that's another set of decisions. You need to get some clarity. There's a lot of muddle around, and I would imagine that's really, really irritating to work with.
You've hit the nail on the head.
Yeah.
This is, above all else, an issue of motivation. And probably that's the key to the whole exercise.
Gerry is certain that the problem is right at the top. If the leadership of the business can be sorted out, everything will fall into place. He wants to concentrate first on the family.
What were you thinking this morning in the meeting? Because you were pretty quiet, weren't you?
I was hoping that he would say the things that he said. He was very frank, very straight. And I thought, I'm glad he said things like that to somebody else, So I thought, well, I know that. So I'm glad that he sort of passed that on to you.
Do you think he can be re-motivated then? Because it seems to me there are one or two choices. One of them is you go off, the other is you sell up, and the third is that you come back and run it. Do you think he can be re-motivated?
I see glimpses of his, his spark will come in and his drive, I think he could, but it's a decision he's going to make, isn't it?
But I have a sense of you feeling quite sad. I'm not quite sure why, but there's a kind of sadness about you. There's a lowness about you.
Yeah.
Where do you think that's coming from?
Well, I suppose if I went to see a psychiatrist, they'd say I'm completely depressed.
Do you feel depressed?
Yeah.
Have you any sense of what's at the root of that? What's making you feel low in that way?
I think 2 divorces have taken their toll on me. They say behind every great man there's a greater woman. So, whereas I
have a feeling you don't trust women, and you don't trust women. And in view of the fact that you have 3 daughters, that's a problem, isn't it?
I never thought of it like that. You're very observant, I got to say that. I mean, you haven't been here very long, and you're picking up things. But that's how you're so successful, I suppose. Yeah. I've never looked at it like that, but yeah.
Robin has failed to A, form a relationship with his daughters, and B, from a business point of view, develop them in a way which I think they are very talented girls. we would have had a lot more options available to us now had he developed the girls in a proper way. And I just think it's very sad.
If Robin's daughters aren't ready to take over from their father, who is? Gerry has an idea.
What about Nigel and all of this? Because obviously it's unusual to have somebody in there in that way. He seems to be just getting on and paddling his own canoe and doing well.
He just is very focused. He's good. I mean, I used to be a bit intimidated by Nigel because I didn't know what to expect from him. But since I've worked with him when we had problems with Rapid Fit and everything else, he's just really good. He's so there to say well done, and there to say, oh, what have you done this for?
Are you all right there, Finlay?
This is Gerry. Remember I told you he'd be coming down with us? Yeah?
Getting a little shy.
Gerry decides he needs to hunt out Nigel to work out whether he is a real contender.
Would you actually get a kick out of running the whole thing?
I wouldn't get a kick as much as Robin probably thinks.
Right.
Whilst it is something that possibly I would have loved to have done it like 7 years ago. To jump back in 2 feet and take on the responsibility of all of it, and probably have to head down backside up for another 2 or 3 years just to get it on a level par and get it going again. That's the unattractive part to it, especially when I don't know whether I would get the support and backing that I need.
It's time for Gerry to call the team together and give them his verdict on how to save the business.
I don't think I've seen a situation where the answer is so bloody obvious. I don't think you want to manage it, and I actually don't think you like managing it, and I'm not that sure that it's your greatest strength either. And it's very clear to me that this is absolutely Nigel's strength. Nigel is first class at the running of the bits that he runs. And what I'd do is I'd sort out the whole ownership issue between yourself and Nigel, so that Nigel owned a share in the lot, not just a share in the bit that he owns now. And I make sure he runs it. I think he would be brilliant at running it.
But let me just... Reservations with Nigel then, right? Tidiness, I mean, you walk into the body shop, it's a mess. You see, a messy place is a messy mind.
Let me stop you, because I'm wondering whether you're aware that just about everybody around the table, with the possible exception of me, is pretty pissed off with you. There's a kind of feeling, oh God, here he goes again. Are you picking up any of those vibes?
Yeah.
And what does it make you feel when you?
Well, I've kept the ship floating this long, right? I do not want to walk out and see it sink.
But you know, let's be clear about this. Let's be clear. There is absolutely no point whatsoever in giving this role to Nigel unless you leave him to get on with it. If you're going to be wandering around talking about the dustbins and the...
Hang on, I'm not going to give him this role. The whole of the staff are going to give him this role. He does have to get, not me, convinced. He has to convince everybody else.
I don't think there's a problem there. I think it is you, actually. I think it is you. I don't think he has a problem. My sense is you have absolutely no problem in getting other people on side. No, I think quite a lot of people will think, good.
I think that Nigel probably would give a lot more attention to detail than Dad has maybe of late. And I think that he would probably command more respect as well.
What do you think, Sam?
I think you've chosen the right man for the job. 100%. And you'll have my backing. And I'm excited for the first time in a year that perhaps we can go somewhere.
Gerry returns to the city to think. He wants Robin and Nigel to work out a deal where Nigel becomes a partner in the whole business and takes over the running of it. Gerry will be keeping an eye on developments from afar. After the meeting, Nigel is feeling positive.
Very nice to hear a couple of comments around the table where people supported me 100% straight away, which it meant a lot to me. Even though I've known him for years and years and years, to hear him actually say it is very nice. and I wouldn't let him down.
Good afternoon.
But over the weekend, the reality of Gerry's suggestion has set in, and it's hit the family hard.
I always end up feeling guilty and sorry for him, I do. He has worked so hard at what he's done, and yes, he may have neglected family life in order to achieve, but that is his baby. And for people to be saying, you know, you've suddenly got to give that up now, must have been very difficult. Must be.
But Robin is playing avoidance games. He's gone back to his roots as a car salesman and is trying to offload a transit van.
There he is! How are you, my boy?
More cars are being sold now in the UK than ever before, but as a result, they're cheaper to buy. But Robin still reckons he can command a good price.
With W Red, you can't really ask £5 for a W Red.
I know it's worth more, isn't it?
What about the 3.5 then?
I can't, my hearing, you'll have to see the doctor about my hearing, you know.
What about 3,750?
Oh, no. Come on now.
I think Robin had a very different picture in his head of what would happen when I came in here versus what actually did happen. And I think he's in a kind of denial at the moment.
Thank you very much.
All right. All the best, Ben.
His daughters are more honest about their feelings.
I went along with Nigel running the business because I believe it's the best for the business. From a personal point of view, I don't know if it's the best for me. Because Nigel presumably wouldn't trust us from right from the start, which is fair enough. I don't say necessarily. I would trust the children of the previous owner.
4.5.
3.5.
Pardon?
3.5.
Hang on a minute now, wait a minute. I haven't stolen this van, you know. This is it. Leave that on there as well. Right, that'll help towards the spraying.
Yeah.
£4,000 plus VAT.
Okay. Right, done then.
Right, job done.
Right, cheers.
Oh God! If I'm honest, I'm actually surprised that Robin has managed to hold this business together in the way that he has. I think he's probably been very lucky in his timing in getting into the motor trade when margins were very high. He's not showing to me any signs of being very astute at the running of the business.
Back at base, it's time for Nigel and Robin to sit down for the first round of negotiations.
It's going to be a battle, and I got a very, very hard task and a hard man to battle against.
Wonderful cars.
Gerry has recommended that Robin and Nigel become partners in a new company, which then buys out both the property and the current loss-making trading company. But they need to come to an agreement on who owns what share. Nigel wants 50%.
Money aside, have you got reservations about the new company owning it all?
I have been talking to the bank, as you know, and they are a bit suspect on the fact that, you know, there's 3 years of losses, so... And I just want to get them off our back.
The ideal thing for me would be that the new company, or whatever that we own, owns everything.
It's all very well, and you know, but you do realise what you're talking about money-wise.
There are no real stumbling blocks here in terms of financial value or a way of valuing this thing which makes it possible for them to split it. There are huge stumbling blocks in Robin's head about leaving this business to Nigel to run. That may prove simply impossible.
We're only talking about the premises. We're not talking about the business. The business can be...
But the business, Rob, with all due respect, is nothing without the premises. I could end up renting all the premises off you, run for 10 years while you're not here.
Right, you do realise...
And at the end of it,
even
you could
if
just...
I do this, right, there is still the problem of breaking down our motor group. You're still going to have to come up with a load of money without the premises.
If I could walk in there now and say, right, we'll meet halfway, 50-50, done, which is a sensible thing to do with anything. But you want 99%, we'll discuss the other one, which won't get off the floor with that. Blood out of a stone.
I think it would be an ideal scenario with Gerry stuck in the middle of us, because you've got two very strong characters, and if we're not careful, all we'll ever do is keep negotiating until I go off in a box.
Robin has one of the best avoidance techniques that I know, he does manage in a very elf-like way to avoid confrontation. If Robin doesn't want this to happen, it's going to be very difficult to pull off, and Nigel knows that. And I think we may have to, I may have to get involved myself in making sure that they do get together and make something happen, if it's possible at all.
Gerry is back in Wales. First, he's heading to Sam's house to talk to the family about how they feel about what's been going on.
I left it last time, and I kind of disappeared and said, you know, what you should do is this. What's your feeling about that?
About the changes
Yeah.
that you suggested?
Yeah.
Well, I thought they were a good idea, and I still maintain that they're a good idea. That we've lost direction and we need somebody to give us direction. I believed after that original meeting that something would happen between him and Nigel.
Do you think it will now? Yeah. Is Nigel the right person to run?
I think he can.
Well, no.
But you see, what he's got to do, he's got to come back.
Who else might run it?
The girls.
You've never ever included us in any decision-making process until you came. We never sat in managers' meetings. We'd never been in the room, had we?
Yeah.
All right, me and Joanne now take it in turns because we can't both be there at the same time. But at least we're going to be there. There's no dropping us in the deep end.
That was never the case before.
And I sorted the managers' meetings out because nobody else would do it.
And then
Nigel didn't even turn up on the last one.
Can I just say something?
Because of this.
I'm the only one that really wanted you to come in the first place.
Oh, you keep saying that, and that
Do you know
wasn't
that?
the case.
Yeah, I
Because I knew what you were going to do. And you're doing it. In fact, you did it before you walked in the building. You got us talking.
But none of us listening.
But of course, I take all the blame. Everything has gone wrong. It's my fault. All you've heard of these two is all the bad things I've done.
Oh, jeez.
Now, if I had been that bad, do you think they'd be what they are?
Have you only heard bad things off us about
No.
him? Thank you.
Well, today you've heard all the bad things. Because when I didn't go away,
Yeah,
the business went like this.
I do.
Right?
Yeah.
That they would like to see me on a regular basis and interfering with their lives, taking Finley
time
off.
to find out.
Yeah, but I'm just saying. So if I don't do anything,
Take a chance, Robin. What do you think the problem is? You've got the girls sitting here and they are really, 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 really frustrated. And there you are, you're still kind of
I don't
waffling on. And
I don't understand why they're frustrated. I'm not always right.
Have you tried to understand? Sat down with them
I
one at a
often-
time
I've tried-
and
I-
really tried to listen and understand?
I just want everybody to be happy. Forget about me. It don't matter me being happy. If everybody else is happy.
You know, but you do matter. At the heart of this is that you matter. You don't believe you do in lots of ways, and it's made you so bloody selfish.
honestly,
it has.
I don't
It
care.
really has.
I just want everybody down there to be happy and work.
You just
and
cannot. You just
succeed
cannot
because it's
deal with the
faltering.
fact that actually it matters to you.
I got to say, you've got me
matters
all
to you.
wrong. You've got me completely wrong. I'm quite happy.
No, I haven't.
Gerry takes Robin back to the showroom to sit down with Nigel face to face.
Oil coming up through
Nigel wants to buy out Robin's share of everything, including the property, so that they become 50-50 partners in the new business. But Robin wants to keep the property separate.
How have you taken the issue of how you arrive at a new share of this total business between you? What's happened?
Nigel is trying to say he would like to have a share of all of it. That's the property as well, is that right? Yeah. Right. Now, I haven't got a problem with that. But where have you got funds available that you can come
You
up?
say you haven't got a problem with it. Let's get on with it.
What share are we talking about? How do we see the total share arranged between you? We're talking about
50-50, 60-40, 40-30?
What does he want?
What are we talking about?
I want to go for the 50-50, Rob. We're going to get on with it.
So I'll take the cheque now if you like.
So as it stands now,
But
it sounds like...
what I've done, I've given a scenario to Nigel where he isn't going to find any money to have 49%. You don't have to pay out any money. And you would end up having a share of the trading company for free.
He doesn't want it. I mean, he doesn't want it. He's very plain about that. And frankly, if I were you, I'd make very sure that Nigel was locked in as tightly as possible in this exercise. He's pretty key to the thing giving you a greater return in due course.
I agree, but I don't want him to break his back.
That's a kind of dishonest... It's dishonest, isn't it? Because you're saying, I don't want it, it's so difficult for poor old Nigel, you know. But actually, what you're really saying is, fuck you, Nigel. I want to keep hold of the property. That's what you're really saying.
No,
if
there was a little cheque there for £500,000 today, I would transfer it.
Listen, you're going to set up a joint company between you, okay? Forget
So Gerry is basically...
But no, don't complicate it. Please don't complicate it.
But then that company borrows £500,000 for me to have half of my back, and I give it to him.
Robin, come on, Robin, please, come on.
I've just sold it for $1 million, right? To the new company. To somebody.
Oh,
Same thing.
Robin, look.
I'm sorry,
look,
but
you've
lost it. You've lost it.
Oh, God.
All the way round the bushes, if you like, as much as you like, I would want £1 million for it.
Robin, please,
My
please,
company to buy me out.
please.
I tell you what, there's a load of pigs flying past that window. Can you see them?
We're going round and round and round the bloody house. You're going to get full value for it.
That's right.
But if you want to keep half of it, you've got to give half of it back.
That's right.
After 2 hours of heated wrangling, little has changed. Negotiations are at a standstill.
Well, I think a lot of good stuff's been got out of the way, but the key issue for me remains whether the deal will be done or not.
If he can't see how much effort and that I put in, I don't know anyone else who wouldn't understand the fact of like, well, thank you very much, get on with it, post me the money. I need him as much as he needs me at the end of the day.
Gerry is back in the city. He's given Robin and Nigel some breathing space to consider their options. Business continues as usual at Arrow Ford. This year, the UK is going to break its record for the highest number of cars sold ever. The showroom should be busy, but with Nigel still concentrating on the body shop, it's there that it's bustling. Since Gerry's departure, Nigel has been doing some thinking about what type of deal he's prepared to accept from Robin.
I have since had a meeting and agreed to do a different type of deal where the properties wouldn't be involved, which in the initial thing it was everything. In hindsight, it isn't the end of the world.
Nigel and Robin agree to meet on neutral ground. With the property no longer an issue, they're going to try to broker a deal on the ownership of the trading company.
You're happy with the rest? Yeah. But you're just saying 49.51.
Yeah.
So we don't have a problem of a 49.51.
Yeah. You've got no reason why you're paying nothing for this. I'm not asking you for any money, right? And you've had 14, 15 years of this scenario, and you can never say it's caused you any problem.
Are you that worried that I'm going to turn it around and make that much money for you that you're not going to be able to spend it, or you're going to be out of the country so long and have to not pay so much tax, you're going to get so excited that you're going to be ringing me from...
I tell you something, you were coming at this from the wrong angle. You're asking for more without giving anything for it. I'm not selling you anything, I am giving you something, right?
I want this deal.
I want you to come on because both of us are going to gain out of it. And I love both of us gaining. But if you carry on, we won't gain, right? We'll still be... It's exactly the same. I remember sitting down with my both wives and saying, together we are strong. Divided, we'll be weakened, both of us. All right? I'm just telling you.
But you were in a 50-50 marriage, eh?
Yeah, and I tell you what, if I had had 51% of that big in marriage, I'd still be bloody married.
Well, there you are. That's my fear. Yeah. I might want a divorce and he might not let me.
Well, it's really vital now that we get Nigel in control of this business. It's the only route that I can see working. And if that means that we have to persuade Nigel, which I think it does, to accept 49 rather than 50%, that's what I'm going to work on. And if that means Robin feels he's won, I don't care. The fact is they'll both have won if we pull it off.
Gerry wanted Robin to spend some time with his daughters. He's invited them both round to dinner.
There's got to be somebody else to make decisions because...
Right, Dad, you can dish up now.
Hang on a minute now. I've got 2 daughters. Why have I got to dish up?
Oh, because
women can only dish up.
No. You've got to look after your father. If it weren't for me, you wouldn't be here. So what do I do then? Do I pay him to do it and step back?
Step back slightly, yeah, but not completely. If he's managing it while you're not there, then you have to be available for consultation with him, don't you?
Unless he takes that deal, I'm not that keen on anything different.
So what do we do then?
Well, he's getting paid more than I am out of the company now, you know that, do you?
But if he's going to be doing a job
Yeah,
that it needs 100% more commitment, then you have to pay people to do that, don't you? I know.
We're talking about him having a share of a bigger pot.
Yeah.
And he's not paying anything for it. In effect, he's working to get that share.
So that's the deal that you...
Yeah. But when he's built back up and he's doing more business, then he gets paid more money. That's the sort of deal I'm looking at.
If Nigel and you can't make a compromise, then what is the alternative?
Well, I'll find a man who can.
Well, of course, Robin says, if it doesn't work, he'll find another man who can. But the fact is, he can't easily do that. Nigel is the person who will make this thing work. I think Robin has got himself to a position which he's probably done on a number of occasions where he's now fixed. The only way that this is going to work is to get Nigel to move.
Gerry is determined to secure the future of the business. He decides to work on Nigel. If Nigel could be persuaded to accept 49%, Gerry believes he'd have a huge amount to gain in the long run.
I think this is a big picture thing. And therefore the only question mark, I think the only real question mark for you is, will Robin let you get on with it? I think that's the real question. And your experience is he probably will. And you need to be very careful in your own head not to lose that simply for the sheer bloody irritation that you don't want this bugger to get away with it.
I really hope we have a deal here, because what happens with these things is that people niggle over tiny details that actually, once the deal's done, can get sorted out. I firmly believe that, once this deal's done, Robin will wander off and allow Nigel to get on with it. Nigel has been given something here which is substantial. He has to make it work, and his skills have to be brought to bear on it. But once he's done that, he's got something of real value, and he needs to learn, get the damn deal done, and then worry about the minutiae.
Well, that's where it comes from.
Gerry pushes for an agreement which will allow the business to move forward with Nigel in the driving seat.
I think that the issue of whether it's 49 or 51 is a complete bloody red herring. As a fair judge of it, I believe that Nigel should accept the 49 and get on with it. I believe that firmly. Honestly, the last thing I wanted is for you to win in this, you bugger.
It really is. I haven't won. I haven't lost.
No, but I honestly think you'll make a great success of it, Nigel. I really believe that, and I think that the haggles and arguments that go with a business in trouble will disappear. You will be able, between you, to come to a kind of working relationship which enables him to be in it a hell of a lot less, and for you to actually get on and run it. And I think that's a great solution. I just think you should go for it.
How much involvement you want to get in is entirely up to you. Yes, I feel that you should be paid a fair thing for it. Yes, I do need you for 3 months. Minimum 3 months of 100 mile an hour. I need to sap every bit of energy out of you. I mean full hands on, Rob, for 3 months.
No,
Honestly, we mustn't get off the point. We really mustn't. I want to keep hammering on this one issue because it's the one remaining issue. And I really, in a sense, I really appeal to you, Nigel, to just make the move in your own head, do the deal at 49.51, and get on with it.
Okay.
Good man.
Excellent.
Good man. I think it's
Well done, young man.
No, I think it's
You've got a
fantastic.
lot of potential. I want you to understand that.
I think.
And if
honestly-
you're ever out of work, I'm sure we can find a job for you here.
Robin and Nigel call the staff together to tell them the news.
Right. As you know, for the last 15 years, this has been run by two companies, a body shop and the Arrow Ford side, which is the Ford franchise. Young Gerry, in his wisdom, came up with a fantastic suggestion, which I think is a very good suggestion. Basically, we run as one company.
As from today, the role of the whole situation here is Robin is chairman of the company, I'm managing director of it. But I assure you, you will all speak to me on a one-to-one basis. And any problems and bits and bobs that got to be sorted will be sorted one way or the other. Hopefully we can all get together, knuckle down, and let's all benefit from it at the end of the day. Excellent.
Wonderful.
Thank you.
I think it actually make a hell of a difference for the pair of you, actually, because I do know that seriously Nigel does rate both of you, and I think he will actually use you in a much more fulfilling kind of way to actually do some things.
He actually touched both of us about 2 weeks ago, and he got quite emotional, and we were both really down about everything. And he said, "Well, I can't do it without you." So, you know.
Made you feel good.
Oh, Daddy's never said that.
Oh, no.
A week later, and Nigel settles into his new job as MD. It seems to be working.
Just installed 3 new ones this morning. So quite happy.
3 new ones?
Yeah, 3 new ones. Ready for January delivery.
Since we've done the deal, things have changed dramatically. There is very, very far more positive attitude from everybody here, and we're really up and going for it now. And no matter what I ask for, I'm getting instantly, and everybody's driving and pushing along with me, which is brilliant.
Nigel is, in my view, a first-class manager. He will make this a success. There's absolutely no doubt at all in my mind about that.
He's getting definitely the backing from my 2 daughters. I think he's getting all the backing from the staff.
Nigel's getting stuck into different departments and taking an interest in everybody's job, but he's moving through each one quietly and slowly, so yeah, it's been pretty good.
I'm glad to say Gerry was right.
The moral is, for God's sake, do the deal. Don't lose the opportunity for for a smidging of detail. Do the deal, move on, and my God, it's worked, hasn't it?